Alright, what's going on guys? It's Super here and welcome to another Mortal Kombat X tutorial. Now today we're going to be focusing on Reptile, Nimble, Reptile. And Reptile along with the other ninjas were the most requested characters for me to do tutorials on. So here I am doing the final one for the classic ninjas. If you guys missed any of the previous tutorials, make sure you guys check the playlist in the description. It'll send you to all my tutorials that I've done. And if you guys do enjoy these, leave a like rating on the video. So here we go. Let's start off with some of his normals here. The best ones that I find myself using a lot, which isn't too many to be honest with you guys. Maybe like Reptile, I'm okay with Reptile, but he's not one of my better characters. So I just keep it as simple as I can, and this is what this is. It's just like a basic tutorial of these characters. So I myself like to keep it simple with Reptile. He does a good amount of damage, he's pretty safe, and he has pretty good buttons. So one of my favorite ones, of course, is down 3. This down 3 is actually really stumpy, but it's very annoying. It's you know, pretty good on hit, and it's low. I also use his down 4 if I'm at this range, and let's just say my opponent's trying to attack with a high, or I'm playing Tremor versus Tremor or something like that. It has a lot of high attacks. I like using his down 4 to low profile his high and also hit him at the same time. And of course, all down 4s are really plus on his, like plus 19, something like that. His forward 2 is very good. This thing is really good. It has so much range, it's a mid, it's pretty fast, and it goes into forward 2, 1, 1 plus 3. This right here, this grab, very good because you could actually meter burn that if you have a bar of meter or a full combo, and then do whatever you want to your opponent. Walk forward a little bit, and then do something like that. Bam, 33%. Off of this move, that's a forward advancing string that goes 2 character length. It's so good. It reminds me a lot of Predator's back 2. Really good for whip punishing. And you could actually not go into the, you don't have to go into the grab if you don't want. If your opponent blocks it, you could actually go into a slash, which his slash is completely safe on block. So you guys see me do this a lot. Completely safe on block. Or you could do the overhead one. You know, mix your opponent up. Reptile is one of those characters that has like really, as far as the slide goes, the low option, really unsafe, you know, weird 50-50s that you wouldn't think people would go for it, but they totally work. So definitely use forward 2-1. It's so good. It's amazing, guys. I don't see enough Reptiles player use the forward 2-1. So another great move that Reptile has is he actually has a threat of 50-50s, which means an overhead or a low overhead or a low combo starter or attack. And the best thing about his overhead is it creates a ground bounce, meaning you could combo afterwards. In the corner you could get a lot more, but in mid screen you could actually connect your forward 2-1, which is really important because you guys know forward 2-1, 1 plus 3, you can meter burn it to extend your combo. So you could actually, off the overhead, get a good amount of damage. That's 33% off of an overhead for 1 bar, which is very good. You could do the same thing with a low. If you want to keep it safe, you could do your meter burn green ball. You could also do back 3 into meter burn slash, but the meter burn slash is actually unsafe. So to maintain safety, you want to go with your green ball, because green ball actually, the EX green ball is completely safe on block. Make sure you do the fast one, because the green ball, you actually have 2 versions. You have the fast one and you have the slow one. Make sure you guys do the fast one, which is down forward 3. All right, now let's talk about Reptile's maybe his most. All right, now let's talk about one of the most important tools for Reptile, which is his forward 4-1-2 combo string. Now this combo string, this string in general, is just an amazing string because you could stop it, you could finish it, you could cancel it into multiple options for Reptiles. So let me start off. If your opponent blocks it, you could finish the whole string. It's -6, you know, it's fine. You know, if you do this and you don't cancel into anything, you're -6. It's not going to, your opponent's not going to punish you. But you always want to end in slash just to build that little bit extra meter. You know, as far as combos go, or if my opponent blocks my combos, I always end in slash because slash gives you a little bit extra meter every time that you do a special move. You could do that, or you could do the overhead. Both are totally fine options. Sometimes the overhead is even better because your opponent might be crouching, so the overhead is a good option for that. Overhead meterlessly this is completely safe. But forward 4, there's a lot of really good things that you can do with it. Number 1, on block, obviously I told you guys, cancel it into this. But if you just do the first 2 hits, forward 4-2, this move recovers so fast. It recovers really fast, and of course your opponent is scared you're gonna do the full string. So a lot of times you could actually catch your opponent after this. You know, you do this, he's blocking high, you hit him with a down 3, you actually poke him, you hit him, you go into your combo again. You do this, and then you start your offense over again because your opponent thinks that you're going to finish the string the first time, but you stop it at forward 2. This is a good what you call stagger strings, meaning you're mixing it up between finishing your entire combo string like this, or stopping it right there, in which you have a lot of options to do. That string, I think it's 0, right? Forward 4. Oh no, they actually nerfed it a bit ago. So this string right here is -5. It's still good because it recovers pretty quickly, and your opponent is already scared of you finishing your string. Not only that, but the second hit is an overhead. So as you guys see, when Reptile has his hand coming down on top of your head, it's actually an overhead. And what some people like to do is do forward 4 into slide. That is an actual legit mix-up that you can, you know, what people call fuzzy blocking, meaning that if you block at the right time in the right directions, you could block all the options. You could block the forward 4 low and the forward 4 1, which is the forward 4 overhead. I don't know, this one I have a hard time fuzzy blocking this one, to be honest with you guys. So I get hit by this a lot because obviously this is the more important option to not get hit by, because this leads to 30% meterless combos. So if you get hit by this, a lot of times don't worry about it. It's just a slide. And even though you do get knocked down and Reptile could continue his offense, you're not going to be put into a 30% situation, into more pressure. So, but that, as a Reptile player, that is something you could do. You could do forward 4-1, forward 4-1, and then maybe poke, do forward 4-1 if your opponent respects it, do it again, finish the whole string. You're going to confuse your opponent a lot if you stop it right here. You continue it, or you just continue it for a long time, and then a couple times you stop it and you go for your 50-50 option. You do this, and then you go for your overhead, or you go for your low. Those are great options if your opponent is respecting you after you do forward 4-1. All right, now let's talk about the full combo. Obviously, if you get the full combo, what you want to do is you want to use Reptile's dash, which is back forward, this right here. Do that, do 2-1, and then go for forward 1-2 again. So it's pretty easy. It might seem confusing a little bit, but just get the timing of it, go to practice mode for about 30 minutes, you'll get it down. So forward 4-1-2, dash, do standing 2-1. This like softens them up a little bit. It softens them up, it makes them fall a little bit lighter. And then you could connect forward 4-1-2 again into slide. There you go. 30% meterlessly. Pretty good. The zoning options for Reptile are actually pretty good. He has his regular spit, which does 7%, which is a lot. It used to do 5%, then they bumped it up all the way up to 7, which is really good, and they sped it up. It's actually really fast now. And the most important thing about Reptile that he's had since the beginning is his force ball. This right here is green ball. You could have 2 of them on the screen at the same time, but they can't be the same speed. So you have to have one of them fast, one of them slow. And the way you have 2 is, you know, you could do a really slow one, meter burn. If you meter burn one of your slow force balls, you could actually hold it a little bit and make it even slower. So this is a great tool for Reptile players to, you know, do this and then go in for your pressure. Because guess what? The force ball doesn't go away. It keeps coming. So this is a great way to keep your 50-50 safe and just keep harassing your opponent. So if I do something like this, you know, I go in for my pressure, bam. I go for forward 4, guess what? He's not going to be able to punish me or try to punish me. He's going to respect it because even if he starts punishing me, if the force ball is still coming and he doesn't block, it's going to hit him out of the combo that he's put me into, and I'm going to have the advantage. Most of the time, you could get up with Reptile and continue your combo, even if your opponent is comboing you, if the force ball hits him. So that is a great tool to have. Something else that you can do that's really cool with the force balls is you can make a stop. By pressing down, down 1 with the meter burn button, you could actually make a stop. And this is a great tool if you think your opponent is going to try to jump over the force ball. You throw one of these out there. He wants to try to jump it, obviously, to get over it, to try to get to you. Guess what? Boom. You're going to land on it. Boom, you're going to land on it. If he lands on it, let's just say he does this. That's going to be your damage, 26%, by him landing on your force ball. So those are like really cool things you could do with that. Now let's go on to the Nimble stuff. And the only thing with Nimble is a slowdown. That's it. It's a simple variation. What happens in the slowdown state is everything around Reptile slows down while he gains more speed. So I'll show you guys. So I'm moving faster with Reptile because everything around me is a lot slower. So this opens up a lot of possibilities with Reptile, and you have the complete advantage. The only thing that you can't do in the slowdown green screen of death is you cannot block. So keep that in mind because I forget it too. Sometimes I forget, I get hit by things that I shouldn't get hit by. You cannot block when you're in the green screen of death mode. So what you want to do with the Nimble slowdown is, you know, Reptile is a really good character, right? He has a lot of tools in which he doesn't really need a variation, to be honest with you guys. He has a lot of these tools, a lot of the tools that Reptile has, you don't need a variation to do them. That's one of the beautiful things about Reptile. And then you only use a Nimble whenever you want to combo somebody or whenever you want to just pressure them even more. So this is really good because before he's even up, I'm already like moving. So that's what you want to use it for. You want to use it for after a knockdown, after slash, either regular, but you are going to be taking a risk, especially with a character like Scorpion that could EX teleport. You're going to be taking a risk. But the EX one is really fast. And of course, you want to use it in combos. Stuff like this. Those kind of combos are possible only in Nimble, and they look so amazing. I'll show you guys some combos in a bit. One last combo string that I want to talk a little bit about that is very useful when it comes to the slowdown or just any mix-ups with Reptile in general is back one, down 4. Now this combo is very interesting because it's just an unnatural combo, if you know what I mean. Like, everyone gets hit by this at least once. It doesn't matter how good you are. You always get hit by this at least once. I don't know what it is. You guys tell me in the comments. Don't lie. I know you guys get hit by this too. So one cool thing you could actually do in the slowdown mode, or you could do a combo after you get someone with this, is you do a late neutral jump punch. When you're coming down, you press down, down, meter burn, down, down, 3 meter burn for the slowdown. And then you could get like really cool looking combos. And you could do forward 4, 1, 2. So those are like cool combos that you could get. With Nimble, you could get really creative and you can play around with, you know, setups that you want to do. Stuff like that. That's pretty much it for Reptile, to be honest with you guys. I'll show you guys some of my favorite combos with Nimble right now. Most of the time you will be able to if you're mid-screen with Reptile, you will be able to get to the corner with someone with the Nimble variation if you get him with this, because it has so much corner carry. Now, there are way different versions from Reptile players that are a lot more experienced than I am, but I like to keep it simple. I told you guys, whenever you're not like really good with a character, keep it simple, and that's exactly what I do with Reptile. I do the easy one. This conversion is actually pretty easy if you just go into the slide. There are way more complicated combos, but I like to keep it simple. All right, now let's go to do some corner stuff. So that is a very, very easy version of the slow down combo. Like I mentioned, there's Reptile players out there who are way better than I am, doing much more damage, but I like to keep it simple. That's a very simple combo to do. I'll show you guys the low now. So that's the low version right there, 49%, pretty much 50% combo on both of them. And that's on an opponent's wake up. Keep in mind, of course, they could always wake up, but if you do actually hit them with a forward 4-1-2, you could actually still get quite a lot of damage. So as you guys see, if you actually get your opponent in a forward 4-1-2, you could get a lot of damage as well. One thing that I like doing is just doing raw spits. I think they look really cool. That looks really cool. It's not optimal, but I just think getting all those spits in on the opponent while he's in the green screen of death just looks really, really cool. But that about does it for the Nimble Reptile tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know down in the comment section. Like I mentioned, Nimble Reptile is one of my favorite characters to play. Even though I'm not the best with him, I keep it simple, I have a lot of fun, and I get a lot of damage. So that's going to be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. What's going on, guys? It's Super here. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you guys subscribe or check out any of these videos linked at the top. Thank you, and I will see you guys next time.